Where's that? Oh, God.
Come on in the room. Here at Furniture City. What is that? What's that is, babe?
Where's the thing at?
It's right there.
At the top? It's behind.
So we can say always. Always. Always and forever.
All right. Well, I don't understand that.
All right.
Hmm?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
It was.
I don't understand it. So nobody knows what it is.
You need to learn me.
No. Use your words.
Hey, Tamika. How are you on this lovely evening? Why he got that button up to the top, I do not know. Sam, I am. Who knows why I said I got that button all the way to the top. Tamika, what city you in? What set you claim? What city you from?
Richmond Heights, Florida.
That's not a city.
Yes, it are.
Oh my gosh, do we have to go through this all the time? Hey, Natasha.
Yes, it are.
Oh, okay. Natasha, you know we had triplets that graduated. We had our graduation cruise that we went on for, it was 5 days, like a week or something like that. So we have been doing the graduation rounds, and now it's back to reality, back to home remodel, back to work after you work, after work.
Black to life.
Black to life. Well, I'm glad you missed us. Since you asked us where we been, what set we claim.
Dallas, Texas.
All right, Dallas, Texas. You said, well, preparing for Bible study tonight. Oh, you have Bible study on Tuesday, okay? Well, you know, we normally do the Monday thing, but life has been a little more challenging with all the graduates and everything else that's going on. Natasha, we are glad to be back. We miss y'all too. We actually have some good conversation. I've been trying to get Mr. Thomas in line. Okay. Look at Lisa. Hey, boo.
They'll never get me in line.
I ain't gonna never get you in line?
Mm-mm.
Well, I ain't starting over.
Hey.
I done trained you enough that you know how to pretend at least.
Nope.
No, not at all.
No more pretending.
Catching y'all before we go. Ready for this session. So, you know, trying to, hey, LaShanta, Lisa, I miss you. You play too much. I just want you to know that. But I'm going to throw that out there later. I'll talk about you on another day, another time. So if you don't mind, on the left-hand side of your page, if you hit the share button and share it to your page so you can join us in this wonderful discussion. We are getting ready to go to the Holy of Holies. No, just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to finish. We look. The first one was a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we had graduation, and then we went on a cruise. So we have been MIA, but now we can get back to a little bit of life as usual. This is a Tuesday, so what we said that if we didn't make it on a Monday for any reason, then we would be able to try to come on a Tuesday, which, I mean, it's not always convenient for everybody, but at least to be able to get them in and not have such long gaps.
Right. Patricia says hello.
Hey, Patricia.
Along with Kim.
Okay, Kim.
Hello.
So, do you remember where we stopped at when we talked about, we were talking about the top problems that marriages have, and
I think it was number 3.
do you remember the ones we went over? That, you know, if you didn't see that first one,
1, 2, and 3.
it was absolutely amazing. I try to, we joke around a lot, but my husband dropped some serious knowledge on that last one. Not that he doesn't in other times, but one of the things we were talking about was communication. And one of the young ladies asked, how do you get your husband to understand communication when you've been saying the same thing over and over? Something to that effect. And we were talking about how you have to change, your approach. It was like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. But what happened was, Cedric used the example of if somebody offered you some money and you are on your way to their house. Somebody say, I got, $10,000 for you, come get it. If you go down a road and that road has a roadblock, what you going to do? Find another way. If that's a block, you're going to find a way to get to that money.
Right.
Why? Because you value that money and what you want. And so when you value it, you will go through any lengths to make sure you get to it. So why not put that same, and where's my cousin, emphasis on getting to your communication and improving it. Don't say the same thing 50 times and wonder why he won't understand it. Same thing for the men.
Right.
Don't keep saying, if she's not getting it, then you guys obviously are not communicating effectively. Because the whole purpose of communication is that you understand each other.
Right.
So if I'm saying it over and over and she's not getting it, all right, Lord, how do I tell her this and she get it?
Saying the same thing, but you're saying it the same way.
Right. And so he obviously doesn't understand that way.
Right.
That to me, that's just a given. But people tend to think that that's far-fetched to change it.
Right.
So, we definitely talked about communication, and he's also said about the value of it. Remember you talked about the value?
No. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
So he said it also will tell you the value that you put into what do you value in your relationship? Because that money, if somebody say I got $5 for you, you ain't finna go through no hurdles to get the $5 because
right.
It's $5 if you there. Yeah, I want the $5, right. But if it's
you're gonna say it take more than $5 gas to get over there,
right? So the effort you put in it is determined by the value you have on it. And I thought that was
profound.
Yes, it was very profound.
Yes, it was.
It was, honey. So, okay, so we did lack of intimacy. Hey, Shakidra, how you doing? So we did lack of intimacy. And we talked about intimacy wasn't necessarily sex. It's getting to know the person, spending time. My husband said it was sex.
No, I'm laughing because Patricia said she remembered the remote talk.
Oh, my God. That was when the devil was bothering those men and they weren't able to resist the devil at that moment, Patricia. They were really being used by him. But I believe my husband's been delivered. We have not had a remote issue.
It was some Jezebels out here that were talking against God about them controlling the remote, and I definitely prayed against them.
Yeah, but you know what I did was I put booty and remote by each other. I think he chose booty. How about that? That's how you get the remote.
The remote, wow, the booty.
Did you say wow, the booty? Can't see me, and no, he did not. Anyway, what was the next one? So we talked about lack of intimacy. The remote was under addictive behaviors, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Addictive behaviors. We were talking about.
We left off in the middle of deep unresolved issues.
Okay, so just recap. You want to recap addictive behaviors, what they were, or anything like just a recap?
I don't remember.
Baby, really?
I'm sorry.
You tired? Because you tripping. You don't know nothing.
Baby, that was a month ago. I don't know.
Well, why am I remembering? And I have the worst memory out of the two, but let you tell it.
You know how
I have not watched that. I don't watch our shows after.
I don't know.
So addictive behaviors were, they talked about video games, Facebook, social media, our cell phones. Then we talked about deep unresolved issues.
I remember now about Facebook. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because we had a spirited debate about. I know you had said something about physical issues or something, and I said that. What did I say? That was related to something, and you didn't agree. I don't remember exactly what it was. Something along those lines.
I'm gonna need you to do better with your recap.
I know. I should have watched it again.
Yeah, I didn't think you need to watch it to know what we talked about, honey.
I'm sorry.
That baby's slow. Yes, he is. So anyway, we went to. Did we do fear of?
No.
Fear of full commitment. What do you think fear of full commitment is in a marriage? Because if you're married, wouldn't that be full commitment?
No. I think people fear full commitment in anything.
But what does that mean, though? Like,
that means totally sold out all the way in. Okay,
so when people say he won't commit, right? That's generally said about a man. He won't commit. But when they marry you, people tend to think that that's a full commitment. That's commitment at that point.
Well, no, because you always had the option of divorce or cheating or whatever other outlet you choose.
No, but full commitment, when it says fear of full commitment, because you could be married on paper, but you're not invested in that marriage. You're not giving your all. You're just there by your body. Not you're talking about divorce. I ain't even talking about the check out part. I'm talking about being married and not fully committed. Not all the way in.
Right. Well, no, you said being married is full commitment.
Well, no, I was saying that people think that once you get married, and then that's full commitment. But
yeah, well, I think women probably think that. I don't think men think that as much.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no quality time. You live in the house together. How do you have no quality time?
That's actually very easy. Just to ignore each other, get caught up in it.
Did you say ignore each other?
Yeah, watch TV, separate rooms, and doing separate things, and even especially for those people who have jobs that are on conflicting schedules, like if one work at night, one work during the day, that kind of thing.
Busy schedules, right?
Yeah.
And you don't think about it much because you just think that you're in the house together. Right. But I know that was one of our issues was
being caught up in the kids.
Well, not just kids. It was like when you get home, you're tired.
Well, I'm not saying caught up in kids, but kids got to go here, got to go there, that kind of thing.
Right, and then you forget to date, spend time together,
right.
And some of the things you do generally when you date. I think dating, before marriage, you sit and you talk, you have conversations like about your dreams, your hopes.
Yeah. I was laughing. I was like, when you're in that mode of you married and just worried about the logistics, it's like you're an Uber driver.
Oh,
you just shuttling the kids to and fro, and then you come and get your wife, and y'all may go to church or whatever. And
why we gotta be an Uber driver?
That's what it's like. Because in the car, especially if once your kids get age on them, they on the phone. Nobody's like having conversations in the car and stuff like that. So
well, that's true.
Yeah, so that's what you do when you're in a car with an Uber driver. You're not talking to them. They taking you where you need to go when you ain't paying them no attention.
Not the Uber driver do talk.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
That's what the kids say, at least.
I only been in it once or twice.
You been in the Uber driver? You been in the Lyft?
Yeah, me and you was in the Lyft.
Where?
In New Orleans.
We did.
You was talking to the guy, but he wasn't talking to you.
What? How y'all think I feel about that? So anyway, again, if you're on the left-hand side, would share it to your page so people could join our discussion. Look, like the church, we won't be before you long.
Right.
But this is some good stuff, some things that will help you to better your relationship, or if you're going to get married, if you're looking to be married, some things you can watch out for that it won't go sideways quick. Why your screen get damn so quick?
I don't know.
So, no quality time. Schedules are busy. Life is hectic. Just don't make the time. Just take each other for granted.
Well, like the old people say, you will make time for what you want to do.
Just like I told one of my children the other day, I said, whatever's important to you is what you'll make a priority. I mean, we all have busy schedule, but if it's something you want to do, you're gonna make time. That's just how the cookie crumbles. So that's why they tell you when you want to see what's important to people, look at they what they do the most. That's what's important to them.
Well, look at that and look at the checkbook.
Right.
What they spending money on.
Right.
What they spending money on. What they spend time doing.
Right. So that's how you know what's important. Right. Jessica says she agreed. Now, one of the other problems, and this is going to be a big one, and I hope we get able to get past this one.
Dun, dun, dun.
After quality time is cheating. There is so much infidelity in marriages, it is nuts.
Right.
Like couples that I looked up to or thought was just the creme de la creme, like, you know, just somebody we see or around. I've been around, and then when I found out that they had issues with infidelity and this person cheated and that, and I'm thinking like, everybody cheat? You know what some songs say? It's some song that one to escape you, My Little Secret. It said everybody cheats, but you gotta know how, you gotta know when.
Right.
People think that everybody has to cheat. But in the world now, you would almost agree with that because...
Well, they talk about it so much, and it seems to be an accepted practice.
Well, it seems to be fun. The way people make it sound like it's fun.
Well, having or doing something that you don't have no business doing is always exciting.
At that moment.
Right.
But then what?
Well, and my thing, too, is when you think of cheating, people always go to sex.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, different types of cheating. You could be cheating emotionally. You could be cheating by spending your quality time with somebody else and not giving it to your wife, not giving your wife the attention that you're giving a coworker. All that stuff is cheating your wife because it's handicapping your ability to make your relationship the best that it can be.
So there's different type of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
How do you define? So what's worse, emotional cheating or physical cheating?
What's more worse? It depends on the person.
More worse. What do you mean? What depend on the person?
Well, because some people, the physical cheating may not be as big a deal as the emotional component, and some people vice versa. It depends on how that person is built.
All right, guys, as you on here, tell me what you think. I actually on this one disagree with my lovely husband. I think that.
Well, I mean the science is proven.
What's proven, honey? You
just like when you see somebody who has a significant other that cheat on them all the time, and they know, and you know, and everybody know, but they stay in their relationship, and then you have other ones where they're not cheating physically, but it's an emotional type of thing, and they know and they stay. It just depends. Everybody's built differently.
Okay, because we had this conversation before, and you said that you thought that emotional cheating was worse. And I agreed because you said if they have your mind, they have you. Like,
well, that's for me.
Well, I'm saying,
it will be different for everybody.
Cheating is cheating. Both are no deal for me. I agree. However, people have sex like just because they horny. That's just it. They just want to get it out. Sometimes their spouse is not giving it to them. And instead of them dealing with that, they go to somebody else. Right. But it actually puts you in a worse situation because now a lot of times they end up getting emotional connections with this person, even if they didn't have one in the beginning.
Well, most of the time the emotional connection comes before the cheating because everybody is not looking to cheat. But when you spend time with people and you talk to them and you find yourself, having an attraction, because you develop an emotional connection with them.
That's true.
It's not like you go to work and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna get me some from the lady that sit 3 cubicles down today." It's not how it works. It's that you see her, you talk, how you doing? It's just casual at first, and then it's like, "Oh, you have kids? How the kids doing?" Then you, like you said, you spend so much time at work, at school, than you do at home that you just end up building those relationships and then go from there.
Well,
not everybody. Some people are actually actively looking to
cheat.
get some action. Yeah, right.
Well, okay, so there's different kind of cheaters. Let's start there.
Correct.
So name one kind of cheater.
Name one kind. Opportunistic cheater.
Opportunistic cheater.
Right.
Do tell.
That's somebody who's not necessarily looking to cheat, but if the opportunity presents itself,
they all in.
you're gonna get it in.
Okay.
Then you have someone that's actively seeking
To cheat.
Right. Every time they go somewhere, they looking.
Would that be the hoe?
Could be. However you want to define that, I guess.
I'm saying, but if you meet a guy, and then and he's always sleeping around, that would be that guy you're talking about because he's just busy.
Right.
That's what most women or most people would consider to be the hoe. Right.
Okay.
So you got opportunistic. You got what's the other one?
Actively seeker.
Active
Active shooter. Hit what?
Hit more. Did you say active shooter? You are so dumb.
Active shooter.
Okay, so
Joe Mencia, she says, well, to me, physical and emotional both have their own impact. Seeing it happen physically will get you to an emotional stage anyway. Well, but how often do you actually see it happen?
What do you mean?
I guess actually seeing them in the act. That's what I would say.
So make sure you explain that a little bit better so I can understand fully what you're saying. Said, well, to me, physical and emotion both have the same impact. Seeing it happen physical will get you to emotional state. But see, okay, now that one I disagree. Now y'all know we just kind of talk it out because it's some people that can have sex and not have an emotional attachment. They just want to.
No, she was talking about for her, like if she see her significant other cheating, it will get her to an emotional state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay Nicole. You know we miss you with your crazy self. So my thing is, all right. So can a woman or man cause their spouse to cheat?
Well, I don't necessarily know about cause, but they can definitely contribute to it.
Do tell.
Well, a lot of ways. By not giving it up, by being disrespectful and emasculating to your man.
Being disrespectful.
Yeah, because if you're disrespectful and emasculating, if that woman at the job is being respectful and listening, then hey, a man gonna get respect somewhere.
All right, so Jay says, contribute. I agree with Ced. So Keisha says, no, people do what they want, accountability.
Well, it is a choice, but you can contribute to it.
So,
now at the end of the day,
nagging, right, Patricia?
Right. At the end of the day, it's still that person's choice whether they do it or not. But you can definitely help them and shoo them along to make the decision easier. You know what I'm saying? To be like, she don't care nothing about me. She's so disrespectful. She don't listen. I'm going to go ahead and do this here. Because this chick is listening to me. She respect me. She listen to me. You know what I'm saying? She interested in what I got to say.
So, on that, I do agree with Cedric on that one. It's not, if somebody cheats, it's their fault. It's their choice. It's their decision.
Correct.
However, is your home environment a safe haven? Is it conducive for love?
Right.
Are you welcoming? Can your spouse talk to you? Can they share with you? And we talk about this, and this was a hot topic before. I remember a time when I felt like Cedric and I were just so distant. I don't even think we were being intimate at that time. It was real, like, and Cedric and I are in words of old people, high nature. And we weren't doing anything. And I told him I felt like cheating. Now, most people can't have those conversations, I found out later. And I'm sure that they make him feel good. He came back with a, if you do that between you and God, you got to answer to God, blah, 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 blah. And that's the truth.
Right.
However, I needed to share with him how I felt at that moment. I felt like cheating. I felt like I needed something that was not at my house. He wasn't giving it to me. He wasn't giving me his attention. We were in the same house, and we were like, it wasn't he was gone out in the street or nothing. He was in the same house, but he wasn't. We weren't connected. Is that the best way? Like, we weren't connected. There was no intimacy, no relationship. So,
and the thing about it is, even if she went out on the street, she wasn't gonna get that good like she get at home. So, you know what I'm saying? It don't even really matter. She'd have been bike anyway.
Is that where you're gonna go with this?
Always come back. You know what I'm saying?
Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, it's coming back.
Filling voids, right, Jay? And so, cheating is a choice, and it's their choice. However, we can add some fire or some fuel to what our spouse is missing and what they're going through.
Right.
And, you know, because he talked junk, but then he did start to give me what I needed. He fixed the situation.
What I gave you?
Attention and love.
Hell dude.
He gave me what I was missing. Like, I would leave the house and he would never be like, baby, you look good, baby, this and the other. And I was getting that in the street. I'm like, I'm driving by the corner store where all the drunks at so they can tell me how good I look because my husband ain't telling me at home.
What you got? That ain't what you got. That ain't what you got, girl. Get that medicine. Anyway, Patricia says then there are some cheaters that cheat just to cheat, haven't made it home and still do it. And that is correct. It's not moving how you move it up. There we go. So Fran says, how do we get past that? We got past that because I chose to listen to my wife and change some behaviors that were happening, and I tried to give her what she was missing and what she needed.
Now, the bigger thing, Fran, is most people are not, 99% of people can't tell their spouse what I said to Cedric.
Right.
Now, we have always had this brutally honest relationship, which his brutal was 7,000 grit sandpaper. It was ridiculous. Like, he had to tone it down.
Baby, you can't use that. The higher the number of sandpaper, the less abrasive it is.
Well, he was a 1.
There you go.
Okay, he was a 1 sandpaper. Why you mess with people that do construction? So he would just say whatever.
Right, you would say, he'd be like 7,000. He's soft as tissue.
So what happened is we would be like, you know, I put something on, be like, why you got it on? Your fat rolls hanging? What?
Oh no, never said that.
So he had to learn how to use wisdom. God did help him a lot.
You really want to wear that?
You might should try something else on. And I was like, I think it looked good. You was like, you might want to try something else on. And then I was like, well, it look bad. I ain't saying it look good.
No.
So although he was still telling me the truth, he was giving me too much of something. I don't know what it was. But how, and I would like for any of you guys ask that, if you felt like you were missing something sexually from your spouse, how would you tell them that? Because in talking to couples...
Very, very carefully.
But how would a woman tell a man that they're not fulfilling him sexually? Or they're not giving to them?
Again, it depends on the man. But what you shouldn't say is, your junk is raggedy. Don't say that. Don't ever say that.
What if it's regular?
Yeah, but that's not the way you say it.
So
what you would say is that, you know, honey, I really love you, and when we are doing the nasty, I would like it if you went to the left instead of to the right.
Is that where we're going with this?
If you went up instead of down. Yes. You have to give instruction. You can't just say your stuff is raggedy.
What if you don't know what you're doing wrong? You don't feel good.
Well, then you need to figure it out. Somebody did something once upon a time that was good. Do that. Whatever he did. But don't tell him that. Just say...
You can't tell him to do what somebody else did.
No, you just think about what he did and instruct him to do that.
So, to the left.
There you go. Until he get it down pat on his own. And then he can freestyle that thing.
So what happens if you have a spouse that is just hoish?
What happens then?
Like if you have somebody that just continually, because a lot of couples we know that have had infidelity issues have a cycle of infidelity.
Well, That's a very loaded
Friend
question.
said, get your life together, basically.
Yeah, that's a very loaded question. Because the infidelity could be repeating itself because the spouse is allowing the behavior.
So...
And not, holding them accountable.
Or is there an underlying problem that's not being addressed?
Well, that you would hope that that's always the reason that there's cheating going on, not just cheating to cheat, but because there's a lack somewhere.
Well, let me tell you this. If you have a man or woman that was promiscuous, busy, got around before you got married, it doesn't get better. If God does not change them, and that's not the church change where you go to church because your girl going to church or your dude going to church.
I'm not going to say that, though, because I've seen a lot of instances where that was the case and the person changed. Is what it is...
Hey, wait. What's the case?
Where somebody was busy and promiscuous and they met somebody and they stopped doing that?
No, I'm saying, but that has to be something God does in you. That's not something you do on your own.
That's not necessarily the case. If you're feeling like you're getting what you need from that person and there's no need to be out there doing whatever, then you'll stop that behavior.
Again, that would denote that if somebody's cheating, then that's something that is missing at home. And it's a lot of times that there are people that have a lot of good things at home and they just cheat because they just busy.
Right. Or because the opportunity presented itself. That what they say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Right.
So
now, what about if you have friends, and a lot of people have couple friends that your couple friends are promiscuous?
Well, see, that's different. Once you get married, you have to, like LaToya saying, being mature and inward change. You have to.
Where said there has to be a
maturing and inward change on the part of that person.
Intentional change, right? I agree with that. I'm just saying people tend to think that if they go to, like people get married, people go to church. Find you a good church girl. So you go to church. A guy go to church. He may be going to church and enjoying it, but he hasn't really done that relationship. He's doing it more because he knows that's what it takes to get this young lady. They get married. But then those same tendencies, if God hasn't changed them, doesn't change. Unless, like you said, people just say, you know what, that's not what I want to do anymore.
No, it's not just that. I'm saying a lot of times when people out there being promiscuous, they're looking for certain things. And when they find that, there's no reason to be promiscuous out there looking because you find what you were looking for. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
That's like when you're trying to find a house. You go look at a bunch of houses. But when you find the one that you want, you stop looking and you stay in that house.
Now, Carolyn said, I was busy and meeting my husband calmed me down. Well, Carolyn, I was busy too. Me and my husband calmed me down too.
Anyway...
I'm not, but that's what he's saying. You had to make a decision that, but to me, I think there's always that one.
Well, I'm one to go back to the friend thing. Once you get married, a lot of friendships you had before you were married, you can't have them once you become married. Or even if you're still friends, you can't spend as much time with them as you did before.
Okay, but people tend to think that as long as I'm hanging out with other married couples,
no.
Because, we've had that before where people say, well, my friends are married. But then a lot of times people that are married are unhappy. So...
Right. Well, it's just like Les Brown says, whatever you want for your life, those are the people you need to hang with. You hang with, if you want to be a millionaire, then you need to hang with millionaires. You don't hang with broke people and want to be a millionaire. It don't work. If you want a happy and healthy relationship, then you need to hang with people that have happy and healthy relationships. You don't hang with people where you go to dinner and the wife and the husband cussing each other out and all this kind of mess. That's not a good example, and that's not what you want in your life.
Well, I recently was talking to somebody and they were telling me that they went to dinner with some couples and one of the couples got into a heated debate.
They had to be separated.
They have to be separated.
That's what the lady said.
No, that's not. No. they just got in a heated debate.
That's exactly what she said.
About parenting and things like that. But
we're about to get in a heated debate.
Hush, you ain't even hear the story.
I was right there.
Your associations are a picture of who you are, so to speak. Right. But now, people don't like to say that affiliation because people say birds of a feather flock together. But people don't like to believe that. But there are people that think that because, okay, I've been friends with this person for years, so I got to stay friends with them because we've been cool. They were with me. They took me through this hard time. But you can grow and evolve. If the person that you've been down with is now doing some foolishness, you need to disassociate yourself from them. Because, as you know, after a while, you're going to start making excuses for why what they're doing is okay.
Right. Carolyn says, I have to find happily married couples. Single people are trouble. Keisha says, why would you want to be around someone who is on the path you're on?
Well, this is the thing. You kind of group in the married. Like you're saying, like when you're married, you want to go double date with, another couple or just go and have fun. It's fun to be around other couples. But I need couples that are trying to go the same direction I am, that are trying to do the right thing. Yes, everybody has problems. Everybody has issues. But I'm not going to link up with people that just got issues all the time. That's not what I'm doing.
That's what she said.
No, I agree.
Yeah, obviously. Like I was doing it, Sherry. I forget now because you were talking.
Oh, sorry. You forgive me here?
What was I going to say?
So you're talking about being around people that are on the same path as you.
Oh, people are always preaching ministers a million times about friends and people, relationships in your life. Everybody that's in your life is not there for your whole life. Some people are there for just a season.
Yeah. It's hard to define the season people, though.
No, it's very easy.
How do you, because that is the issue that I still have. Seasoned people, sometimes I try to make them as lifetime, and they're not lifetime.
It's very simple.
How is that?
Because, like we talked about, they will show you who they are. You just have to believe them.
It is funny to me because needed this combo. Thank you. You're welcome, Jessica. My husband, oh my gosh, and I hate to tell him when he right, y'all. I'm going to tell the truth because, Cedric can be extra.
Oh, God, really?
But almost every time I've had a friend or somebody in my life that I thought was lifetime and I thought was good for me and I thought they were just perfect because they said the right stuff, he would always tell me, I don't think they're who you think they are. And that's probably the first thing you say. But he said, I don't think they're as good for you as you think. And I'm justifying him. I've even gotten upset with him about it. And when it come and do a karate chop to my throat, he never says, I told you. He just said, people will show you who they are. And so now my issue or dilemma is identifying.
Oh, it ain't. All you gotta do is believe them when they tell you who they are. It's that simple. That's Maya Angelou.
But I have not always, honestly, no. I've seen things along the way, but I've not always seen it.
It's just like it's the funny thing is just like when we counseling couples. When you meet somebody, you see signs and red flags about who they are. You just choose to ignore it until you've been with them for 5 years and now I didn't know. No, you knew. You just decided to let it go because he did that thing you like, or he had a nice car, or a good job, or whatever the case may be.
So he offered some type of service to you.
Right.
Go back. We missed something. I'm sorry.
When it become, no, we did the other one before that.
Oh.
Yeah.
People color. She said people's colors are clear?
Yeah.
I don't think people colors are clear because obviously I'm blind.
Because how do I know and you not know?
Because isn't it easier to point fault in other people? Because you could, like when you watch a movie and you see this stuff happening, you see the signs of something happening, you like, why she can't see that? Why blah blah? And when she comes to the aha moment, we didn't realize it 12 hours ago in the movie.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, you there too. So
no. But when I'm in it, because I'm in the relationship with the person. This is my friend. This is my person I hang with.
Yeah, but when I tell you this is what it is, at that point.
But you don't tell me. You said no. What you say is, I don't think they are or who you think. I don't think they are who you think they are, or
they're not going to be good for you. So at that point,
right? But then I can't just say I ain't talking to them because my husband said you ain't
I
good
didn't
for
say
me.
that, but at that point, you should be on the lookout for, okay, that's a red flag. Okay, and then you can say that person is XYZ because you've seen it, but you keep deciding to ignore it until it comes to a head, and you're like, well, why they doing me like this? Well, I told you.
Well, but this is the thing. I give 100%. And so it is definitely, and I'm not an evil person. So I don't understand when people are just evil. Like, but he's told me that people background make a difference, people upbringing make a difference, their situation makes a difference. Right. And, you know, he counts me on a regular because sometimes it's like, well, why do you think such and such did this, or they responded like that?
See,
or
that's your other problem. You always want to know why people do stuff. People do stuff just to do it. Sometimes they don't have a reason why.
That doesn't make sense to me. You just do stuff just to do it.
Don't have to make sense.
You just are hurtful and vindictive just to do it.
Right.
Go back to the
self-preservation. I have to go back. This is the last one. When it becomes a struggle to remain in a relationship, you know it's time to dissociate. Keisha says, we like to find all the good, overlook the bad. Good. We'll get with you later, Miss Fisher. See that?
Yeah, if you inbox me, I can give you some. I can remember, child.
Yeah. April says, laugh out loud. Right. Janet says, true. If a person shows you who they are, believe them. This is good teaching. As women, it's hard to do that simply because we are more emotional.
Right. Sure. And Toy, you talking junk, but you know it is very difficult. We've all had people in our life that was not good for us, but because we both have big hearts and we want to fix it and mend it and think that we want to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I've not always been the best friend. I had to learn how to be a friend. So I'm thinking that maybe they just in a learning stage. So is that not something that's true?
No. Even when someone's in a learning stage, there's still certain things that you take for granted that happens. So, no, that's a cop-out in my opinion.
Okay.
Keisha says, even when we see the flags, I don't know what that face means. That was...
We basically pouting like I was doing.
Keisha says, I like to know why, too. Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people need to know why, but there's a movie that I watched called The Strangers where there's these family that murder people, and the lady said, why are you doing this to us? And the man said, because y'all was home. There was no reason why.
That's crazy to me. Like, I mean, I understand that, and I watch a lot of those documentary court shows where people do stuff and they don't really have a rhyme or reason, but that just baffles me because I just feel like somebody got to have a motive for something. Like, you just sit out to hurt people. People that were like, I saw this one with his child. They adopted him, gave him everything, and he ended up killing the people. And they were like the best to him. And he said they did everything for me. They were great. And he doesn't know why he did it.
Because this is a lack of self-control and discipline. People see stuff, say, I wonder what happened if I do this. I'm going to go ahead and do it. They just do it. There's no reason. Like, you don't have to have done anything to somebody for them to do stuff. The people just do stuff. That's just the way it is. Like, hey, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Let's do it.
Right, Toya. It's hard and it is painful. You know, the thing about it is that I still, as much as, you know, of a Christian I am, much as I study, much as I heard sermons, it is very difficult to learn reason, season, and a lifetime people.
But this
because
is the thing.
I know season,
right,
and I know what reason, but to differentiate, because when the cutoff is, I'm not really sure.
That you don't have to. Like I said, they'll do it themselves. Every time.
I got so mad with him one time, and I was like, you don't even care. And he was like, I don't expect much from people. So when they do what they're going to do, then it doesn't affect me because I didn't expect anything from them.
Right.
He said, I expect too much. I expect them to do what I do or be like I am or treat people like they do. He was like, you expect too much. So I don't know how, because I'm not made up of the same tough skin as Mr. Thomas.
It's not tough skins. It's expectations. Because if I don't have certain expectations, then I can't be upset when things happen. That's the same thing in marriage. When you have unrealistic expectations of your spouse and they don't meet it, then you feel some type of way. You have resentment toward them. for that, and they may not even know what your expectations are.
Correct.
So it's not that I have super tough skin, but I don't expect people to behave in a way that's contrary to who they are.
But I don't think that I set out to say, okay, I'm going to expect them to do this and other. I just think it's in the back of my mind, just there. Like, I didn't say, okay, I expect my friends to be this, or I expect friends,
How long have you been alive, and how many people have you known? When you meet a person and they're going down a particular track, you know this type of person is going to do these type of things. That's what it is. It's not rocket science, right? So you know when they going down that track and they do these things, why would you be hurt and been out of shape when they do them? You already know what they are, what kind of person they are.
So people say if you know what they're going to do, then it shouldn't hurt you.
Right.
But it does.
Why? If if I send you an email and I say, hey, I'm going to punch you in the face on such and such day or whatever.
So you don't think that hurt you even when you punch me?
I'm going to show up with a helmet on. With a face mask. You punch away. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be prepared. That's the point that I'm trying to get. You know what I mean? Or they say I'm going to punch you in the stomach. I'm going to have some pillows or something under my shirt.
Now, is that a woman thing? Because I find more women get emotionally attached and connected. Like, I hear a lot of women saying, I put up a wall because I don't do women, I don't do this, I don't do that. And I was one of those people. And I promise you, almost every time I let my guard down, I get kicked. But then I was taught that God does not design us to put up walls.
Right.
So...
But God also gives us wisdom.
Right, but that means you have to hear the Holy Spirit when He tells you.
That helps, but you don't have to. You use your life experiences that you've been through to live your life, right? Just like when you driving to work, you done been to work that same route you go every day, and you know the police is going to be at this one intersection right here all the time. When you get to that intersection, what you going to do? Or to that area, you're going to slow down.
Right.
You're not going to speed through there because your experience tells you that the police is often in that area. And there's areas like that all over Orlando, correct?
Right.
So why then would you get in that area where they're known to be police officers and speed and then be mad when you get a ticket? Does that make sense? It's the same when you...
Now that analogy makes sense.
So it's the same when you meet people and you have relationships out here in these streets. You see the certain type of person they are. You see what they do. You see how they act. So you say, okay, I've met this person before. Because it ain't but so many types of people and types of personalities. Would you agree with that?
I don't know how they crazy people now, but yeah.
So this person that acts like this and has that does these types of things.
Sorry, guys. On the left-hand side, hit share button, please, and share it to your page if you think somebody could benefit from this conversation or this broadcast. Yeah. It would be great if you would just share it so that people could get the same kind of information that you're hearing now. Right. So,
and if you agree, hit the thumbs up, give us hearts, give us some feedback. Because I know as people listen, everybody's not typing responses, but hit a heart, hit a like if you agree or whatever. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We have a vast amount of videos there, and they're increasing all the time. So we appreciate you. Okay, so
I'm stuck on this portion of it, but I still don't understand how do you just know when it's time for the red light to come up.
Okay, so you're in a relationship with somebody, right? They do something that you don't like, right? You say, hey, you stepped on my toe. I don't like it. It hurts. They say, oh, okay. And they step on your toe again. You say, hey, you stepped on my toe. I don't like it. It hurts. And they step on your toe again. How many times are they going to step on your toe before you decide to move on? That makes sense? That's very simple. It's not hard to differentiate a season and a lifetime. Because if somebody keeps doing something that you ask them not to do, you tell them hurts your feelings, obviously they don't care anything about you. Because somebody that cares about you is not going to keep doing something that hurts you. Would you agree with that?
That's true.
So it's not that hard. It's very, very simple. You just have to acknowledge that, yes, they stepped on my toe. I asked them not to, and they did it again. Okay, I'll give them another chance. They did it again.
Well, don't be agreeing with him.
And they did it again and again and again and again. I'm so hurt they keep stepping on my toe. Why? They stepped on your toe 10 times. Why did it hurt more than 11 and 12 times?
So what happens? Okay, so I'm getting off this. Y'all been talking about me. He throwing daggers at me right now.
I'm not throwing daggers.
He really is. He's
you
stabbing
acting
me.
like it's some kind of
but I keep running into the same
formula,
wall.
but that's your fault.
But I don't see the signs when it's happening.
Okay.
Of course, when you break it down and his memory is usually really. That's why I was laughing in the beginning when he couldn't recap last couple weeks ago, because he could tell me everything somebody did to me that should have been a red flag to me. Anyway, we were talking. Oh gosh, she took my fags.
Facts. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Look, Florence said you got once a step on my toe. I know, right?
Well,
I'm not saying that. You can give them another chance, but don't give them 15 chances. After the second or third chance, you may want to start, turning from a friend to an acquaintance.
That's true.
I'm not saying that you can't talk to that person, but I wouldn't be tracking them down, trying to have dinner and lunch and all this kind of stuff. I see you when I see you. Throw the deuces up. How your mama and them? Keep it pushing.
We were talking about cheating, and then I got beat up.
Well, it's the same premise.
How is that?
Because when someone's cheating on you and you're in a relationship that's not healthy, okay, they cheat once, you forgave them. Okay, they cheat again, you forgave them, cheat again. Same kind of thing.
We talking about hanging out with friends.
There we go.
Okay, we back. Sorry, we had a little technical
Back in black.
So, if you have friends and the friends are married and they're in bad, unhealthy relationships,
Right.
but what happens if your spouse doesn't see the problem with being with that couple? Because okay, that's my boy. That might be your homeboy, and he married, and so we want to do things with other couples, and you see that.
Well, in that instance, I would say you can probably still do stuff with them sparingly, but not all the time. Like every once in a while, is what I would say. You know what I mean? Instead of doing something every weekend, like once every.
Christopher, please hush.
Every so often. But this is the question I was going to ask, just playing devil's advocate. How do you know that couples are not in a healthy and conducive relationship? Because a lot of couples will
fake it.
Yeah, they put that Oscar performance on you. Get in the car and be boxing in the car on the way home.
So, guys, on here, tell us how you know if a couple is not in a healthy relationship. Because I think over time, you and I have learned to, it's so funny, we'll go to an event that's not our event, just an event, period. And Cedric and I get in the car and we're like, did you see that? Or did you see how such and such? And we picked up on the same thing. Now, we might not know every detail, but you can pick up on people's mannerisms and behaviors. And even if they're putting on a front, you usually see some signs of reality when they don't know you're watching.
Right.
Silence is golden.
No, I thought it wasn't working, but it's working. No, but yeah. Mm-hmm. What she said.
Really? So how would you spot?
Like you said, sometimes you just feel that a vibe, you know what I'm saying, that something is not as it seems. Or it might be the opposite, when somebody's doing too much and they be all over each other. And
yeah, we've seen that when somebody was so
it could be
lovey-dovey and losing their mind, and then you like,
look, be easy. Y'all doing the most. No, y'all stuff ain't right.
So, but that's the thing, though. So how do you prove to somebody that your relationship is good?
Yeah, it ain't about proving to nobody. When, in my opinion, when you are earnestly trying to make your relationship better, it don't even have to be the best at the time, but people are drawn to you, I guess, would say, because like us, people always want to hang with us and talk with us, even when we might not be like 100% vibing, but we are always, I feel, trying to get the best out of our relationship and have our relationship be the best that it can be. And people, they feel that. They can sense that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a struggle for us to talk or do whatever. Nothing forced, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know, the busy part of the other part of this is you just have to be watchful. And I'm going to say, listen to your spouse. A lot of times your spouse sees stuff that you don't necessarily see about yourself, about your people you're around, about different situations. And I just know that so many times Cedric has said stuff, not just about friendships, about different situations. And I'm like, no. And then when it come around, like, sometimes I don't even tell him. But I don't want him to tell me right.
For instance, we're just going through a list of problems that marriages have, and we just got
it was a top 10 problems.
Actually, it was like 15 things.
But we started a few weeks ago, but we had been gone because of because our kids graduated from high school. Then we went on a cruise and we just got back. Right. So we had missed a couple of weeks. So we're trying to pick up on part 2. That's why I said if you missed part 1, it was definitely worth watching.
You can go back and watch it. So yeah, and like you said, we're not advocate you to prove anything. She just asked the question, but like I said,
well, we're playing devil's advocate because so often people have questions on here as they watch and they don't ask the question. So if there's something we think about, even if it's not our thought, because you never have to prove anything to anybody, because nobody is in your house, is not living with you, you know, and oftentimes the people that try to prove it, that has the best Facebook profile and the best pictures and the best video have the raggediest lifestyle, whether it's Christian, whether it's marriage. The people that try to prove that they're super Christian, a lot of times got a lot of raggedy life stuff going on. So whenever they're trying to overdo it, that's what Cedric was saying, be cautious of the person that overdoes it. Because they're trying to prove too much to you, to show you how great they are, how Christian they are, how great their marriage is, how great their children are. Because when you're great, you're just going to be great. I don't have to prove to you I'm great.
Right. Let other people give you your accolades. You don't have to pat yourself on the back.
Correct.
So yeah, that's where I think we ended at. The last one was cheating. I think that was number. For today. Yeah, the number 6 was cheating. Yeah, so we're on cheating. It just went to relationships and that kind of thing.
Well, because we talking about what kind of cheaters you have, and then we started talking about friendships because he was saying that some of those things coincide.
Well, we were saying about hanging with other married couples whose relationship might not be the best, and like I was saying, whatever you want for your life, those are the people you need to hang with. So if you want to be a millionaire, you need to hang with millionaires. If you want to own a business, you need to hang with entrepreneurs that have businesses.
But I think it's how well do you value your marriage or your relationship? Because, and this is an example that one of the ministers at our church used, and it always is very vivid, sometimes graphic, but it's going to, I think it'll help. When you're looking at, like you hear people that say, my preacher, he mess up, he do whatever, but all I go is for the word and the word. And I understand that's their point of view. They're saying we as Christians are the only ones that allow people to serve us anything, any kind of way. So if you went to a restaurant and the person served you this entree and it's doing beautiful dinner plate and you know all the stuff going on, it's beautiful. Okay, that's fine. But if you went to a restaurant and the person that in the kitchen digging his nose, he's scratching his butt, he got coal in his nose, and he give you your food, the same food on a garbage lid, would you eat it? So why then do you accept the word of God from somebody that's given to you on a garbage lid? Because if his life ain't right or her life ain't right, they're giving you the word of God on a garbage lid. Because the Bible requires us to live holy. So you know, he wouldn't give us that commandment if it's not an option. So when you're doing friendships and people around, we tend to allow people to get by with a lot of stuff that they shouldn't. And it's not a matter of judging. I'm not saying that. But if I know your life ain't right, then...
Well, it's not judging. It's about accountability. Same thing in marriage. If you have to have accountability to... Even we have accountability with other couples because how do you know that you're putting forth the effort that you should if there's no accountability? You just kind of out here in these streets willy-nilly.
Well, that's what I tell people all the time. People are like, oh, y'all always have a lot of people. I said, but we pour into people, so we have people that pour into us.
Right.
Because when we're not getting along, we can tell each other what we're supposed to do all day long, but we're not doing it. So we need somebody that's going to pour the word of God in us. But you need, the accountability is, you need truth. People tend to say, don't go to Angie and say if you don't want the truth. Because I'm on the side of marriage, not the person, like the woman or the husband. You know, I'm not on one side or another. It's what's going to help this marriage. And you need people around you that's going to feed into your marriage, that's going to feed into your life. That's just in general. If you got people around you that's always negative and always drama, you might want to back up a little bit off them.
Right. Well, that's some people state of living. They always got some foolishness going on.
But why do you think? I mean, is that because of upbringing?
Could be. That's just whatever you live and operate where you feel comfortable, where they feel comfortable. Just like, you know, women that like for the husband to cuss them out because that's how they feel like the only way that they care. He care about me. He cuss me out.
Well, I guess that goes to when you have when you had a household that was brought up like that too.
Yeah, could be. A lot of things.
Do you see Tanisha? She's so stupid. Tanisha says she's definitely on the side of marriage, no side taking. Right. And you know, I've had people that were friends of mine that got mad with me. Even that thing that just wrote that on the screen, who I raised in my house, was not happy when she don't want to come ask me, y'all. She don't ask me no more. I ain't asking that help for nothing. Because she know I'm not going to be talking about, oh yeah, girl, you right. Whatever's going to help your marriage go further. Because somebody did it for me. Right. Somebody told me, matter of fact, my sister, who's been married for, 35 years or something like that. I remember a time I was mad with Cedric, and she was like, what did he do? And I'm telling, she was like, that's stupid. Are you really mad about that? I was like, did she say that's stupid?
Yes.
She was like, you need to find you something to do. She was like, that is so simple. Why would you be mad about that? She got really proper on me and said, that makes no sense. She was like, there are bigger things going on. That's so trivial, was her word.
Right.
And I didn't talk to her for a few days either. Nah.
Yeah. Your petty was showing.
It was, but she told me the truth. And we often get around people that's going to tell us what we want to hear. And co-sign on our foolishness, too.
Yeah.
What you going to say?
I'm hoping that your petty outbreaks kind of slow down. They flaring up there. They just slow down.
Whatever. Ain't no petty outbreaks.
Slow down with the petty.
That's been a long time ago.
That you been petty? That situation was a long time ago. Okay.
Don't do that. Sounds petty. Like your sister's very wise. She is, and she has, and she's one of those ones that because usually we tell people don't go to your family for counseling. Don't go to your family for advice. Keep them out your business because they can't. And
they hold grudges. They
can't differentiate. Y'all done had sex and made up, and they still around there looking crazy at the family function. So, right. You know, we definitely tell you that that's not a good option. And people are like, oh, my such and such can be fair. It's very rare.
Right.
For instance, my dad's a pastor and my mom's first lady. I can't tell them nothing. Not that they can't have an issue, but I'm still their baby girl. So, although they can tell me the word of God, there's still a level of, he tried her. I'm sure.
Right.
So I wouldn't go to them with some of the stuff that we've been through before that they didn't even know we went through because right. I think that it would have just messed up everything that we have now.
Right.
So
ruined relationships that we had too.
Right. They definitely hold grudges. So you go to a family cookout, y'all done made up. And everybody give it. Then it's tension. It's tension in the air, yeah. And then your spouse is not comfortable anymore.
Right.
And so, it may have happened, whatever it is. But if you chose to forgive him or her, then your family is not as quick to let it go.
Right.
And so, just to keep things low, I think that I've heard people say that lately. I've been hearing some because I watch a lot of people that do marriage stuff, and I don't necessarily agree with some of the stuff I hear. They're saying that you don't need anybody. Everything just stays in our house. We don't need counseling. Like I see a lot of people that's getting married too, that been saying, my thing is you don't need nobody to keep our business in our house. Just take it to God. And I agree that you take things to God. But when you got two people that's Christians, or we took it to God and we still in the same place.
Right.
Just like in church, you can have areas in your life and you take it to God, but then you might go talk to your pastor or talk to somebody in your church that give you some guidance on how to get out of that situation or practical ways to maneuver out. And people lately, and I don't know why I've just been seeing it so much saying, like they said, what advice did you give this married couple? Don't tell nobody else your business. Or don't have anybody relationship. You and them figure it out. Or what happens in our house stays in our house. That is true to a degree. You don't want to tell everybody. Right. But if we have a couple that we're accountable to. So we go and tell them when it ain't right in this house. We finna do like when people come tell us the stuff and we work it out with them, they do the same thing for us. But we trust that they have our best interests at heart. Right. That they're gonna give us what we need.
Tell all our business.
And they're not telling our business.
Right.
So I do think you need people that's going to pour into you. It's about who you tell. Right. Because when you're upset, you want to tell everybody you talk to. You want to vent. But once you're done, those people are still holding. They're calling other people, and then it's an assembly line. So.
Assembly line.
Well, that's how I go. Yeah. I call you. You call your friend. Like.
No, I don't know how I go. I don't do that.
Well, he don't do that. But my family never takes my side. They're always supporting marriage. Well, that is great, Keisha, because most people don't have that story. Mm-mm. Right. So, it is very difficult in marriage because two people can say the same statement, say totally different statements, and both of them be true. Meaning that don't have everybody in your business. What happens in your house stays in your house. That is true to a degree. Right. However,
be wise about who you tell.
Be wise about who you tell. And I honestly think that every couple needs a couple. That's my opinion. Only reason I say that is because we did, when we went through for those who don't really know us that well, when we went through hard times, when we were our first 5 years of marriage or whatever, we went to a regular counselor. We went to church counseling. We did all kind of stuff. We went to conferences. We did whatever we had to feed into our marriage. However, having another couple is a little different because if you come to me and I'm a counselor, I'm telling you my point of view. But there's things that I say, just like Cedric and I talk, he'll say, well, no, as a man, this is why he felt or responded to you the way he did. Right. And hearing it from another man, that woman can now be like, oh,
right,
that makes sense. Because we tend to say the same things and get frustrated, just kind of whatever. But when you got somebody that is going to give you the truth, and it may be the opposite sex. Like sometimes I'll chime in to the woman like, okay, as a woman, I used to nag my husband, or I used to do this. And what helped me or what happened to change it was this. So I'm giving you my experience and how it changed. It's different from a man to tell you, well, just respect him and shut up. She's not going to take that same thing from you. If I said, you just got to learn how to just shut your mouth. From a woman to a woman, it's a little different. Right. So it's hard to do because everybody doesn't have another couple. Because I'm not just talking about a random person off the street. It may be a church couple, but I just know that's what works for us, that has worked for other couples, and it helps to have a support system. Now, the other side of that is that when you do have a support system, people start to wean themselves away from you when their lifestyle and their marriages aren't right.
Correct.
Like, if you have a husband and wife that are going through problems, if the wife tripping, she don't want to come around them because she think you're going to see through whatever they got going on. Right. Or if the husband doing whatever, he ain't going to want to hang out with Angie and say, I've had people say, girl, I stayed away from you during whatever time because we know you was going to see through it. Because you ain't got to tell me nothing. I see your interaction. We see things different. That's something that we pay attention to.
Yeah, but I don't know what people think. Like, we going to just start counseling them right there. It don't work like that.
No, but people still want to put up a facade.
They go ahead.
They think that's just like if you are living holy, people don't want to come around you when they're doing dirt. You ain't got to preach it at one time, but because you're doing right. Your lifestyle convicts them.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So us living right, and we tell people all the time how we disagree. We tell people all the time when we have issues and that we make, we work through it, or I ain't feeling centered this time. We tell people. However, they just don't want any of their stuff to be called out. And I think they think we're going to start saying, hey, what you doing? Like, we oftentimes when we out with people, we don't want to have a counseling session. Because
we like to have fun.
We like to just have fun.
Right.
And a lot of times if we go somewhere people just to talk about marriage or help them, we know that's what we're going to do. But if we go to dinner, we want to go to dinner and just be at dinner. Just have a good time.
We done been to dinner a lot of times and it done turned into a counseling. Well, let me just ask you, for instance,
hypothetically,
my friend.
If somebody, husband.
I'm like, Lord, we done been to dinner and made it all the way to dessert.
Oh my God, that was the funniest thing.
We almost made it, baby.
We were betting in the car that, because it was like, can we just go, like if you want to go, we love marriage, we are passionate about marriage, we love to help. So if you want us to talk, if we had some issues and you're like, can you help us through this? Sure. That's one thing. But when you say, hey, let's go hang out, we want to have a good time, we want to go on date night, we expect a date night. We want to be booed up, laugh, joke, act silly, have conversation. But when you turn it at the end, be like, and so if I consider tear me up under the table, look at me like, I told you. I was like, again, I'm the one like, no, they just want to go hang out. Ulterior motives.
Almost made it.
Almost made it.
We was on desert.
on desert.
On desert.
So we are closing. We did not make it past where we at, baby. All right. So
number 6.
We've gotten to number 6. So problems that marriages have: lack of intimacy, addictive behaviors, deep unresolved issues. Where the first session was 1 through 3. We've only been doing about 4. This is 4 through 6.
3. I'm doing 3.
Okay, we're in 3. I'm sorry. So this is fearful commitment, no quality time, cheating, and we end up going into friendships and how to discern whether somebody is a reason, season, and a lifetime.
Seasonal.
So we got to work on how to figure out there's just a reason for them.
Reasons. The reason that we're here.
So we have a few more to go. I messed up. So we have, no sex.
Boredom.
Emotionally
isolated.
Anger issues.
Let's do them 3 because we ain't probably get past that.
So we will resolve next week. We're going to try to go back to our month. I said resolve.
You said resolve.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I don't want to resolve. Dissolve, none of that.
So we'll start again next week. We'll go back to Monday. I apologize for the inconvenience. We're just trying to, if we don't get it in on Monday, to come to you on Tuesday. Again, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our
YouTube
events, subscribe to YouTube, Instagram, share it with your friends.
And
There's
go
somebody
to YouTube and watch some of my other videos.
Why you gotta be so aggressive when you say that?
Out here in these streets.
But why you gotta be aggressive when you say it?
YouTube.
What time? We're normally on at 8 o'clock on Mondays, 8 to 9. And so we've been going over.
If you don't catch us on Monday, then we'll probably be on Tuesday, 8 to 9. But we're going to try to do Monday.
Like I was explaining about, we have triplets that graduated a couple weeks ago. And then we went on a graduation cruise. So we've been gone for a couple weeks. Right, LaToya? He's been so aggressive. I don't know what's going on.
Love boat. Oh, notifications. Well, my lovely wife is good with text. She's going to fix that.
No, what I didn't do is I would normally set up an event and invite people, and I hadn't been because we have been so busy. Having 3 children graduate at one time can be a bit.
I would do it, but I don't know how to do it. My wife is so much smarter than me.
Yeah, we did live 2 weeks ago. We didn't do it the last 2 weeks because we were, graduation stuff, and then
we were supposed to do live on the boat, but
somebody was being petty.
Angie was in her feelings, and we were scrumping and all kind of stuff like that there.
So how was I in my feelings and we was scrumping?
It was after the scrumping you was in your feelings. But I think you felt some kind of way because the motion of the boat and all this him got you in your feelings. That's what it was. I'm pretty sure. YouTube.
Look at Tanisha, you need to get that together. Whatever,
Black Love
Tanisha.
United. Subscribe. Watch our videos. We out here.
We out here in these streets.
Oh, man.
Anyway, thank you for joining. And we will close in prayer. You want me to close this time?
Yes.
All right.
So I'm sleepy.
Cedric now works at night, so he is a night bandit.
Yes.
And guys, I'm back on my fitness grind, 30 minutes a day at least. Going to the gym in a minute.
That's right.
Boom.
Get on that grind, boo.
Oh shoot! Can I go before you go to work?
Yes, you can. What difference does it make? Oh, I'm gonna be asleep anyway, so whatever.
All right. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for this broadcast and everyone that has been on this broadcast tonight. We thank you, Father God, for helping to reunite, encourage, re-enlist, all the things that marriages need to redo.
No, it's that resolve.
No, don't resolve. So today we ask that those who are not married, Lord, are looking to get married, will take the information that you've given, take it to heart so they can be prepared for their spouse as they come along. Yes. For those who are married and need to fix it, or Lord, go into those houses, Lord, go into those relationships, Lord, and help them to see what areas they need to improve upon to fix them, and you will do the rest, Lord. We thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
We cancel